is getting inside of the mind of a killer. He's a cold-blooded killer with no regard for human life. He'll snatch your soul from your body even if you're living right. Now don't back down from him, but understand that he's always prepared to fight, and he sneaks up on you when you least expect it, like a thief does in the night. He doesn't care about your religion, your gender, or your race. His only agenda is murder, and death doesn't have a face. People race in the streets in unity to protest and fight back, and some progress has been made lately. Some people have survived his attacks. But despite that, he tortures his victims until they die a slow death. And he eats away at their insides until they have nothing left. But he doesn't stop there. I heard he killed some of the victims' family. He's the epitome of the devil and a killer of humanity. Never before has there been a killer who has single-handedly created this type of genocide. Bodies just keep popping up and multiplying worldwide. But the sad part is the perpetrator has already been identified, but nobody seems to be able to stop him, regardless of how hard they try. Hide if you see him. Call for help if he gets near. But live your life to the fullest. Don't ever live it in fear, but please say a prayer for those already resting in peace. Because none of us are safe as long as cancer is loose on these streets. This next one is called Dark Sky. And I'm basically fashionably late. This next one is called Dark Sky. And again, when I talk about range, I want to say that a lot of people know that I've been speaking for a very long time, but when you talk about writing a book, it challenged my literary perspective, if that makes sense. Because it's one thing to say it, and you say it with such enthusiasm and so vociferously, if my brother's anywhere out there. Yes. And so, but when you have people try to read it, now you have to compromise a little bit. I didn't compromise my style, but I also had to make it suitable for a reader. So this is kind of abstract, and it's called Dark Sky. And I wrote it as I was looking at a dark sky. So you might want to close your eyes if you want to, but if you don't, just realize that this is a dark sky that I'm describing. When I look up at a dark sky, I see no pain. I can't even see the clouds that's foreshadowing the rain. All I see is my dreams within the stars. And I try to stay focused on the present because I really can't see tomorrow, and I don't need no more I'm sorry. It's just leave me here so I can bask in the divineness of this atmosphere. There ain't no mirrors here reflecting all of my imperfections. It's just a time and an opportunity for a spiritual connection. Now, you're more than welcome to come with me if you please. But remember that any negativity you bring will only anchor my wings. And see, by no means is this an attempt for me to escape reality. I'm shedding light on the darkness, on life's deceiving fallacies, while knowing that I can overcome these fatal casualties. Just because something is doesn't mean it has to be. Looking up at a dark sky is just so peaceful to me. Whatever can kill me in life should only strengthen me. I cover my ears so I can hear no evil. And right now my world is pitch black so I can't see none either. As a matter of fact, it's a conglomerate of puzzle pieces forming empty spaces. No racism exists because you can't see faces. They say a mind is something in life that is often wasted. To see daylight in a dark sky is going to take some imagination. But if you can concentrate visually on any image, eventually you'll form a mental paintbrush and paint your own picture. So at this point, I'm letting bygones be bygones because I can't see hatred. And thus I've forgiven all of those who have done me wrong. And I finally realized that I belong to the sky. It's tough to see at night, but my introspection navigates my flight past reflections on this sacred night. Will conclude as the sun slowly rises, indicating daylight. Ain't no surprises. What's done in the dark will show up in the light. I subconsciously procreated, making love to the night. I danced with death, spoke to the future, and now I realize there's nothing to fear but the Lord and myself. The end is just as near as the beginning, and the world will spin with or without me in it. Sometimes we tend to get winded because our minds are just so out of shape, blinded by the light, exposing various struggles from day to day. So there's nothing left for me to say but have a good night and listen to your heart and try to close your eyes and you can see the dark.
Yeah. Let's see.
This next one is called Man or Male. And I really enjoy this one, and I always get a kick out of it because everybody, when I ever have mentioned it, they always say, yeah, man, I bet the youth, they need that. Well, you can be a young man and a grown male, so at some point they're missing the point. Because I think a lot of our males are needing a dose of reality. Because they still feel being a man is defined by their aggressiveness and sexuality, but in actuality, that's just a fallacy created by society's perception. Because being a man goes well beyond how good you can fight and show a young lady some affection. See, the lessons I learned as a male, I now understand as a man that you can back away without backing down and still be taking a stand. But I also understand, because I remember how it was when I was in school. You couldn't even get a girl number unless you hung with the crew that was cool. So you could walk and talk and the girls would go crazy. To the point that they'll even lay down with you and let you father their baby. But see, then things start getting crazy because they expect that same male to all of a sudden transform into a man, but his false perception of what a man is so deep, you can talk to him, but he don't seem to understand. So then what used to be cool becomes lame and vice versa, to the point that we got all these males joining gangs because inside that's the only thing that makes them feel worthy. But see, a real man can endure pain and still carry on. But a male has to inflict pain on others to make himself feel whole. His ego swollen, knowing his accomplishments way out of proportion. And you know how you can always tell a male? They always talking about things that really have no importance. But see, according to the law of nature, if a man don't work, he don't eat. So all these males talking about they ain't made for a 9 to 5, understand they're taking a chance of catching 5 to 9 out here hustling. Because I'm tired of the streets. Too many of my babies have been born and died in these streets. But then I start getting in deep thought, and I think about the women that's raising their kids on their own. They're trying to be strong, but it's hard for a woman to show a male how to be a man, because a man never truly becomes a man until he sees another man. And that's not something that they can learn on TV, because those are just clowns giving a false perception of what a man's supposed to be. See, to me, your mind is like a seed. It needs water and sunlight to grow. And it's that lack of balance that got males being scorned for things they should, but they don't even know. But I say that snow only sticks to the ground if outside it's freezing. So you only become what people say you are if inside you believe it. And sometimes it seems like the males get all the achievements, and I don't care how tough you think you are. One day that stress may build up so much you might have to cry just to relieve it. But that's the same thing with our girls who struggle with a low self-esteem. They use sex to feel love, not knowing what either one of those means. And that's why the cage bird sings, because it wants to be free. But first, you have to cherish your wings. So a lot of people have asked me, what does man or male really mean? And is there a difference? And I say, yeah, there is, because a male is simply how you're born. But now, man, that's how you live. Which one are you? Down to the last two. This one is entitled Motivation. And this is just something, to kind of get you going in the morning or late at night, or when the world will beat you up.